of these beings, you know, these kind of like representations of the enlightenment, of the minds of the Buddhas. So especially, you know, our teachers who kind of like came and did so much for us. So that's why we kind of like asking them to inspire us, not to do the job for us. They can't, okay? Bad news as well. They cannot save you, but they can help you, influence you, okay? So that's the idea. So we do it together. Om Namo Manjushriye, Namo Sushriye, Namo Tamashriye Soha. Om Namo Manjushriye, Namo Sushriye, Namo Tamashriye Soha. Om Namo Manjushriye, Namo Sushriye, Namo Tamashriye Soha. Please have a seat.
Where's the one chair? There's.
And I guess if anyone has the ability to sit on the floor, like physically able,
To sit on the
yeah,
floor.
that would help for those who can't.
Sit right here.
And then there's more cushions, so I can grab.
Yeah. And we do have more cushions if anyone else just would like to sit on the floor.
Okay. So, do you want, is recording already? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome. Good to see you all back. And for the new people, welcome. Welcome. Good to see you.
Thanks, Hayden.
So we are here because we are talking about Buddhist tips for life. So we have talked about some tips last week. What did you talk about? Anyone remember?
Anger.
Anger, yes. We talk about anger, which is something that none of us have. So we just started because it was important to talk about it. And today I thought about, you guys did a meditation on attachment.
Yes.
So it's the other thing that you guys don't have it, attachment, right? We don't have it at all. But how about there is one type, specific type of attachment that we normally have, which is a little bit subtle. You know, we normally don't feel we have it sometimes, but it's actually in almost everything that we do. Any type, any idea what type of attachment that this can be?
The reputation.
The reputation. That is a good one. Definitely attachment to reputation. But attachment to yes, Bob?
Myself.
To myself. Yes, that is a very one. And what we call in Buddhism attachment to myself, or a strong attachment to myself, is something called a pride or arrogance. Right? So today we're going to talk about that. How about that? Talk a little bit about pride and arrogance and how to deal with it. I guess she's over there. Yeah. So there is a, you know, we're going to talk about that because why are we talking about these things? You know, why does this monk come here and he starts to talk about anger, attachment, and all of that? Well, because in Buddhism, what is not allowing us to be happy and what makes us suffer is exactly these types of mindset. The mindset of anger, the mindset of attachment, the mindset of pride, the mindset of jealousy, the mindset of depression, of low self-esteem, of anxiety, right? That is what makes us suffer throughout our days. Why, as I say, because it's what makes the roller coaster of emotions, you know? We wake up in a certain way because, and we wake up and say, oh, yes, I'm going to have a coffee. I'm going to have this and that. You know, I'm going to be so happy. And then we turn on our phones and then all of these things start happening already. And then family and then this and then, you know, peace of mind gone, right? Gone. Or worse, we turn on the TV, right? Then gone immediately, right? We turn on not only the TV, we turn on the news channel, then gone immediately, right? Totally gone. Why? Because then all of these images, these things, starts to immediately create these mindsets in ourselves, isn't it? Right? I'm not saying something here that you don't know. You kind of like understand that. So what we try to do in Buddhism is that we try to develop ways to deal with these negative emotions, right? And the most important thing for us to deal with them is to understand why they are called negative emotions. Or the better term that we use is called disturbing emotions. Any idea because why they are called disturbing emotions? What do they do to us? So this is the main point. They are disturbing because they disturb our peace of mind. And let's face it, nobody wakes up, nobody of us here woke up today and said, I hope I can be disturbed and I can suffer and I can do that. Not even the most depressed person, right? Because even the depressed person is looking for ways to be happy. Even the person with the biggest addiction to drugs, to alcohol, to gambling, to whatever it is, that person, or even to how do you say that one that likes pain, like a masochism, even those, they believe that those things are going to bring them happiness. So they are believing, they are waking up and saying, may I be happy? Because this is the bottom line of our life and experience. We want to be happy and we don't want to suffer. The problem that Buddhism says is that we don't know how to find happiness and how to find ways to stop our suffering. We think we know. That is exactly when pride starts to come about. We think we know, and then what we do? We go to these external sensory experiences thinking that they are going to bring us happiness. So we want to see nice things. We are addicted. We are completely thinking that if I watch, the entire season of Game of Thrones, I don't know, Game of Thrones is old, but like, something like that, what is new? What people are watching now? Very much. No? Nobody watches anything?
Maybe White Lotus.
What?
White Lotus.
White Lotus. White Lotus. I don't even know what it is. White Lotus. But I like it, the name. Very good. White Lotus. We have lots of lotus in Buddhism. White Lotus, and I'm gonna watch the entire thing and I'm gonna be happy after that. And normally it's the opposite, no? We become like zombies, like drained, isn't it? You're just drained of doing that. So then what happens to us is that we look for happiness in that experience, we don't find it. So we continue looking. Oh, it's just the next episode then. Then I'm gonna be happy and satisfied and feel peace and then the next one. And then next one and next one. And we don't get it. We don't find it. So that is a problem there because if we are telling ourselves that these would give us happiness, then the moment we would do it, we would find happiness, right? And not only this, the more we do it, the happier we become. Not really what happens. And the best example for me to do about that is about food, because I love food. You always talk about food, think about your favorite food. I'm going to leave it open today, okay? Because normally I already give burrito, But then you start to eat, you're very hungry, especially after this blah, 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 tired of listening to this monk over there. I'm so hungry, I need to eat something. Then I go and I start eating. And I eat one, two, and even maybe after the two, I'm already, right? So the second burrito doesn't taste as tasty as the first one, is it? And then if we had a third burrito, then it's not gonna taste good. And not only that, it's not gonna make us happier, but it's gonna transform it into suffering, isn't it? Like very heavy stomach and all of that. It's easier to see that with chocolate or chocolate cake, Easy. very easy to see. If you eat one, okay, two, three, four, you're already in the toilet. No, it's like that. Instant karma, we say that. So that proves that those experiences, that sensory experiences, cannot give us the happiness that they kind of like present or sell to us, right? They appear to us, right? The way that they kind of like appear, the way that they are like showing us that is like, oh yes, oh yeah, if you have that, you're gonna be happy. Oh yes, if you have it, all your problems are gonna go away, you know? And then we think about that with music, we think about that with smell, right? We think about that with touch as well. Oh yes, I'm gonna make massage. Okay, so go to do, Swedish or Thai massage the entire day. I don't think you're gonna be like, relaxed all the time. At some point, it's gonna start hurting. So that proves that these sensory experiences don't give us the type of happiness that we are looking for. What type of happiness that we are looking for? Peaceful, non-disturbed, never going away, or Disney likes to say, happy ever after, right? That's what we want. That's one thing that Disney was completely correct. Yes, that's what we want. But have you realized that all the movies they stop when they come together, the prince and the princess. Ha ha ha. Then we know the problems start, right? And we know. I never watched a movie that says kind of like, okay, and now they started to have arguments, and then they had that and jealous, and then they had kids, and then they had to, like, they lost the job, and then they had to pay the mortgage and all of that. Where is it? Right? Then I want to see the happy ever after. Then I want to see when problems start to happen, what do they have to deal with their mind? That is what Buddhism is talking about. And for us, the importance of understanding that is understanding that the way we are looking for that happiness and the way we are allowing our minds to engage into these negative emotions, that is what brings us suffering, right? Is that habitual tendency of engaging with the mind, for example, of pride. Hmm? The mind that really thinks that, oh yes, I am gonna kind of like, I know best. I don't need anyone. Hmm? Do you know that? Yes, do you recognize that? Pride in Buddhism, there is actually many types of prides in Buddhism. I love studying pride because I'm a very proud person. Wow, 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 wow. So I kind of like I studied quite a lot of pride. We say in Buddhism that you should always start with your biggest affliction or your biggest negative emotion. And for me, so has been pride. For 12 years, only meditating on pride, 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 pride. But pride is extremely special because there's many types of pride. We only think one type of pride, And the definition normally that we use is that pride is that inflated, that exaggerated sense of self, of me, and as if I have all the qualities of the universe. Zero, I have zero problems. I have zero faults. I have zero shortcomings. No? No, I don't have it. So that's why we can see it. Sorry?
That makes two of us.
That makes you okay. You see? Like, so that would have actually I'm better than you. I know that.
Have to disagree.
So pride or arrogance, it starts to kind of like have that exaggerated, like that feeling of like it's almost like a armor, right? That we kind of like put up and is like, nobody can touch me, But the types of pride that we have there's also kind of like pride that happens when we almost like we kind of like we did something that is wrong, morally wrong, but we actually feel proud of it. Like for example, I didn't say everything to the that our Anthony will know to the IRS, and I'm paying less taxes. Ha 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 ha! I'm a very smart person, right? We take pride in doing bad things. right? It's not only good things or our qualities, but we actually have those type of prides that we take like pride in, or arrogance that I am better, I beat the system, or whatever we kind of like create. Do you recognize that? That feeling of like, or when you're kind of like going to drive and you're in a supermarket, and then you kind of like, you see that there's a spot closer, and then you just go faster, and then you take the spot, and you're like, haha, I got the spot. You know that feeling? I'm like, it's like, oh, I got that, like those are all moments of pride, moments that actually disturb ourselves. Why? Why does pride disturb ourselves? Because pride cuts ourselves from others, cuts off, right? Becomes us distant, puts us on a pedestal, and everybody's down there, right? So that creates an extreme clinging and attachment to have to be like that all the time. Yes, you understand? And not only this, also creates aversion for people that are not as good as me. So if you don't drive the same car, if you don't wear the same clothes, if you don't go to the same university, if you don't go to the same place, if you're not from the same color, the same country, I don't want you close. So arrogance and pride, it starts to go in exactly the opposite of how life is. So pride makes us think that we are independent. Yes, I can do it everything by myself. I don't need you, anyone, right? Bad news to pride. That's not how life works. We are completely interdependent. We are completely dependent on others. First, all of us here, we have been dependent from our parents to have our body. Yes? You didn't create your body, right? So mom and dad had to come together. I don't need to explain. No, you understand. So, please don't explain. So then, we have been taken care of. Even if not maybe mom and dad was there for us, but someone did because you're here, you're alive. So someone took care of you when you could do nothing but scream, sleep, eat, and poop, right? So someone was taking care of you. So how can we be like self self-sufficient as we think we are? In the beginning of our lives, we had to do that. And now, the only reason why you're here, standing here, is because you have been eating, right? Drinking water, having sun, having hugs, receiving love and kindness. And I don't know you guys, but I have zero idea or how to like plant my own food. So all my food comes from the kindness of others, isn't it? We are not independent as we think. We are not kind of like self-sufficient as we think. So it is dependent on others. So pride creates that superiority, which brings and put people like at arm's length. We say that? Yes? Yeah, we say that? Oh, very good. So, you do like this, and I am here and you are there. So I don't need that. I don't need you. And more than that, that kind of like superiority is creating contempt, right? And the depreciation, no, deprecation, no? Deprecation, like the way of like putting people down. That's what pride in a negative way can be. We're going to talk about good type of pride later, okay? Because pride is a name. It's just a name, right? So it doesn't exist good or bad. That makes sense? It depends on the circumstances, the relative circumstances that we are living. So when we are, but that is easy to see. If we are putting people down and we are putting us up, that is poisonous pride. Okay? Arrogance. But there's other types of pride that are not so much like this. But let's continue with the ones that is kind of like, that are also funny to observe. You know that feeling of like, I we are in a room and we think that it's like, oh yes, we are all the same. We are all kind of like going to an interview and we think that we are all the same, or we are going to a kind of like a I don't know, a competition or something like this. We are all equal in a relative way, but you have in the back of your mind that little voice saying, but I am better. Right? Actually, I can see that these people think that they are equal to me, but I am better. Right? Do you recognize that? Do you recognize? Even we do that with friends, right? Or even with family members, right? It's like we are all the same, but I'm a little bit better. And better means I am richer. I have more money. I have more muscles. I am healthier. I have more kids. I have more this. I have more that. You understand? You recognize that? That we create that kind of like competition that the other person is not even aware of, but you are competing. In your mind, pride and arrogance is competing against who? Every single person, almost. Every single situation. We are coming into these situations already with that feeling of like, I am coming and I am gonna beat others, not physically, please, but like just I'm gonna maybe better. So that mindset, it is creating this disturbance in our minds. You're not in peace. You're not relaxed. You're not actually, and the worst for me, it's what pride really taught me is that I cannot learn if I have pride because I think I know best. I have nothing to learn. And life and people, they simply are a school of learning if we want to, right? People have so much to teach us, so much. We can learn so much from others. But if we are just thinking that no need, I don't need you, then okay, good luck, right? Good luck in kind of like, and let's face it, I don't know, maybe you don't have it, but I used to be that person. So I have it in my life. That person that is always bragging about, all the things that I've done, all the things that I did, and I'm so good, and I'm this, and did that, blah, 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 blah. They are so boring to be around these people, isn't it? It's just so boring. The person just talks about themselves and how they are amazing, right? Who likes to be around this person? So let's try not to be that person, right? For ourselves, because it's disturbing our minds, but especially because we are then starting to not be nice to others. And what even worse, what starts to happen with pride mind is that we start to act with our body, speech, and mind in ways to almost harm others. We lose our kind of like compassionate or even kind. Our kindness is just not there because I'm not worrying about you. I don't care about you. I care about, getting it done, being the best, achieving it. That is exactly the type of mindset that we have right now in the world. And I'm not saying this, but especially in the West, right? Especially in places like America. That is the mentality. No, we kind of like started to think that our ways of dealing with others is that if I put others down, then I can be happy. This competition. If I'm making it, it's like, oh, if I'm showing that I'm the best, then I'm gonna be happy. Guess what? Like the sensory pleasures, like eating the burritos and the chocolate cake, doesn't bring you happiness. Actually, makes you feel lonely, makes you feel sometimes even worse. You start to doubt your own goodness. Just the worst doubt you can have, right? You start to think that, oh, I have to be like this. I have to. I have to do these things in order for people to like me, right? I have to be the rich. the richer, I have to be the stronger, I have to be the, or even kind of like with situations like the kinder, right? We don't use that only for kind of like bad things, but we also do for, remember, I used the bad word stupid compassion. That's it. That is a stupid compassion idea. When we start to kind of like, think that we should be, I always do that, like Dharma centers, as I've been a little bit around some Dharma centers, people like want to help, and then some old students and all of that, they want to help and feel like that. They don't allow other people to help. No, 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 I haven't. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. No, I do it. No, 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 me. Right? That is also spiritual pride. Very important.
Just want to comment. We don't have that here.
Yeah.
We are quite the opposite here. It's like we are all welcome. We need help.
Thank you. Yes.
So there is this type of pride that kind of like they come in different ways. But there is also a type of pride that in Buddhism we talk about is to, I am the worst of everything. Even we are proud of being the lowest. Do you understand what I'm talking about? That kind of like victimization, we call. Oh, like, look at me, I don't have this, I don't have that. But it's still an inflated idea about you, and it is still only about you and doesn't care about others. Do you understand that? So pride doesn't need to be necessarily just, wow, I'm amazing. It can also be like, I am the worst, kind of like, oh, yes, I'm very bad. And no, 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 between you and me, I'm much worse than you, you know? You know? No, I know, yes, you're going through a lot of stuff, but you have no idea what I've been through. Yeah? You recognize that? Yes, I understand all your stuff, but no, 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 you, me? Bah, you have no idea. My dad, this, my mom, this, and that, all of these traumas and all of that. I'm the worst, right? It's called pride as well. Welcome to the world of pride. The nuances or the colors, the palette of colors of pride, right? So then we start to kind of like see that these things are demeaning others, are kind of like making others feel bad and making especially us cutting through, like cutting off from others. So this is what bad pride is about. Yes? Do you recognize it? So do you recognize that it disturbs you because you become anxious, right? Because you need to perform all the time. You create an image of yourself that you should be like this, I have to be like that with these people. And the worst is that pride cuts ourselves or our ideas of, okay, with this group here of work, I need to act like this because then, I need to be the best for them in this way. In the family, I need to be in this way, another. And then with the friends, I need to be in this way to be the best. So we're always trying to be the best in everything. And we are cutting ourselves, and we cannot be just ourselves. Which, guess what? Because we are contaminated by our negative emotions, because we have no control of them, we have no control of our attachment, of our anger, what happens? We fail. We make mistakes. We are not always perfect as our minds are creating the idea. So what happens? Then we come with the whip, and we start, I'm a bad person. I didn't perform. I should have done this better. I should be like this. I should be like that. And then pride starts to actually increase even more our low self-esteem. You recognize that? Actually, pride is the antidote in the way, the poisonous antidote of the low self-esteem. We are actually not wanting to people to see that we have faults, that we have problems, that we are not, we don't know everything, that we are afraid, that we also have, difficulties, that we also have worries, that we also need help, that we are not that independent as we show outside that we want to be or should be. Makes sense what I'm saying? And then, but then there is also good pride. Okay? So good pride is like, for example, when we are not diminishing others, and when we are counteracting this low self-esteem, which is exaggerating our negative sides, but on a very equal and balanced way in the good aspects that we have, right? I don't know, maybe someone here is like a runner, or so yes, you run better than probably me, who cannot even walk, So yes, that is a conventional way of saying yes. Okay, you can feel proud, you know, but also you can say, oh, I've done something good, and you feel proud of yourself. You're right. Not because you wanted people to look at you and see how amazing you are, but because you actually helped someone. Understand that? So that type of pride, it is a good counteract for the low self-esteem, which is just saying, I'm the worst of the universe. You know, I'm very bad. I don't like, no, me, people shouldn't see, like, I need to have kind of like people cannot see the flaws that I have. I don't want to show to anyone. No? So these types of good prides encourage us to continue doing good things. That is okay. That makes sense, right? That is kind of like a self or a sense of self-confidence, of honesty. That is a good word. Difficult. Being honest with yourself, evaluating. It's incredible because we are so good at judging others and seeing exactly what the person needs to improve, and the person, it's like this person, oh yeah, these are their flaws and these are what they need to improve. Oh yeah, these are sometimes they have these good points. For us, it's the opposite. We have everything that we are good at, and very hard sometimes to see what we have to improve, isn't it? Just really making a list and thinking, okay, I am lazy. I kind of like, how do you say, postpone? No, procrastinate, right? I kind of like get distracted easily. I have these attachment to these. I kind of like let myself get angry easily. I am proud because of this and that, right? All of these things that we do that with everybody else, but with ourselves, we don't do it, right? And these types of mindset and understanding and cultivating a good sense of pride can transform that sense of inferiority, yes, and can make us a little bit kind of like use our time and our mind and our body and our speech in a way that will make us improve. But it is actually, the pride is not allowing us. It's how can I say that? Not allowing us, it's kind of like limiting us, constricting us, right? To not improve, to not evolve, to not change. And guess what? We change all the time. We are constant changing. That's who we are, right? Just look at your body. Your body has changed in the last 10 years, 20, 30, 40, 50. 70. You can see it's changing all the time. Your mind has also changed, but has changed for better. That's what we need to see. Because when we start to actually use pride as kind of like a wall for not allowing us for changing, not allowing us to learn new things so we can change, then it becomes very harmful. Okay? So some antidote. So we're clear how pride is not cool. It's not our friends. Yes.
Well,
Can
bad pride.
huh?
Bad pride is not.
Bad pride is not our friend, right? So bad pride is definitely poisonous pride. Pride is not our friend, right? So what can we use as antidotes? Because we're talking about poisonous, so we need antidotes. So a few tips for you. So you write down in your book, you know? Think of something very difficult that you have no idea how to do it. I don't know how to create a rocket that goes to the, to the moon. But there's people in the world that can do that. You can't. That already helps us to see, oh, maybe yes, I'm not that good, right? I'm not that smart, right? It's just a way to kind of like catch the mind of pride. And the way we catch the mind of pride is just feeling that pedestal coming up from your feet, for your feet, you know? When you start to lift up, not because you're pleased and relaxed, but the opposite, because you're heavy as a kind of like, how do you say, stone, yeah, boulder, or kind of like a, a statue. When you thinking that they should make a statue of you, that's pride. That is pride, So if you see you lifting up and seeing that, then you can realize. You check and say, ah. And when you start to see people like, yeah, but this person is just doing that because they don't know. I know best. I could do a much better job than that, right? I remember sometimes even you go to like teachings, amazing teachings, and all of that, and you go and you're listening, and then your mind's like, I could say much better than this. You know, this is this guy here. So you start to think about, that also you start looking without the whip, but things that you actually need to improve. You just go and say, wait a minute, I am not enlightened as I think I am, I am not perfect as I think I am. Let me just think about some of my like things that I need to improve. Just points, just kind of like, oh yes, I can see I have a little bit of a discipline problem, I go to bed at, I don't know, 2 in the morning, and I wake up tired, and I do that. Or I should be working on like, doing this, and I'm postponing. I should be eating healthy. I should be doing exercise. I should be doing that, and I'm not, right? Or I should be calling people that I like and telling them and taking care of them, being a good friend and all of that, and I'm not. That makes you a bad person? No, that doesn't make you a bad person. That just makes you a person that has points to improve. Yes. If you find them and you act on them, and you see that you have that, then life has purpose to improve yourself. But if you think you don't need anything, I aced, the universe. So I'm done. I don't need anything. Right? Then life, what's the purpose of life? What is purpose of life if you don't need to improve yourself? If you don't need to become a better human being, right? So that is the kind of like, you start to see the things that if I allow this pride to control me, I cannot learn, I cannot improve, I cannot get better. So that is the value of humility. Being humble doesn't mean, allowing people to step on you. That's stupid compassion again, right? Being a doormat isn't humility. That's not humility at all. Humility is that the understanding of the things that you can do well and the things that you need to improve, and asking for help. So asking for help, best antidote for pride. Difficult, huh? Because we're not used to. We think that we can just, no, I have it. Don't worry, I have it. No, I take care of it. Don't worry, I take care of it. Especially men, right? Like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. So then women help men and say, okay, sweetheart, I know you can take care of it, but I can also help. And then we can do it together, right? So that is also a good idea. So you can help the other person, and the other person can help you. Then pride starts to, become more equal. The other thing that I also like to use is that to think about that the qualities I have, and that for me is the most kind of like easy in a way, to think about when I'm talking about this blah 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 here that I'm talking, that we call Dharma Buddhism. I don't know anything, honestly. The only thing I know came from my teachers. So everything I have learned, it was taught to me by someone. So if I have any qualities, if I have any good aspect, it's because it was taught to me. Someone. So that gives us that sense of appreciation, right? You say, wow. You know, there's so many. If you look back, sometimes there's maybe that teacher, someone in your life that really, you know, taught you something. And it doesn't need to be a teacher, it can be like a grandma or, some your mother or father, someone in your life that taught maybe values or something that really, touch you. You needed it. You had help. You didn't self-created yourself here. Don't fool yourself. That's what pride is doing, fooling yourself, cheating you, believing that you self-created yourself. Boom, appeared. No way. Many people had to study, had to do things. They learned, they had to go through many things so they could teach you. And really thinks, wow, all of these that we have, all of the things that I have came from others. Instead of the opposite, right? That is making people away from me. This thought bring us closer to others, bring us closer to here to say, wow, you know, like here when I come to America, I know my English is horrible, but it's just like I think about the people who taught me English, which was it's called uh Chandler, Rachel, Joey, and the people from Friends. That's the other one. But like I think about, wow, I can be here because of that, right? And yeah, I kind of like I speak 6 different languages, and because of that, all of these people, it's not qualities that I have. I'm not being proud here because I speak. Just thinking, well, I do that because of the kindness of others. I remember, in Spanish, people really teaching me Tibetan, like boo, and the person like very kind, like not like these guys, like that, and I blah blah, oh like this, like that, so kind for me to be able to do that, right? And then you think about these qualities of others and you rejoice. You say, wow, this person has so many qualities. And especially those people that you are kind of like comparing yourself with. Honestly, at work, this is the best type of mindset. This is what actually, I was reading a Harvard Business Review talking about that idea of equanimity and equality, but not only between sex, gender, all of this, but that idea that people can see the qualities of others, right? Appreciation of the qualities of others makes the work environment the best, not the competitive idea that we have created during all of these years, thinking, oh, the one goes better, faster and do more is the one that we I'm sorry, the word meritocracy. Is it?
Meritocracy.
Yes, meritocracy. Well, I came from finance, so I know exactly what that means, right? So that idea, quite the opposite. The more you appreciate, like, oh yeah, he has these qualities, Oh yeah, that she has those qualities. Wow, and we see that all of these qualities together adds much more than me trying to figure out everything by myself, right? And having to be the good one, the best one, creating that anxiety in me. So that is very important antidote for pride. Recognizing a word that we use in Buddhism is called rejoicing, being content, being happy because of other people have these qualities. Because other people have, those qualities that we might not have, and get inspired, right? Why we talk about role models, That's what like Lama Yeshe, Lama Zopa, they are role models. His Holiness is a beautiful whole model. Why? Because they inspire us. You don't get pride or like proud with His Holiness and say, yeah, but I'm much better than His Holiness. Not the opposite. You say, wow, he has so many qualities. I hope I can develop this to be like that. Huh? Not that he's better than me. He's better than me now, but in the way that he's kind of like, I can be like him. I want to be like him. So to inspire you, right? That is the type of mindset that actually help us and not create, distance. Another thing is that if you think about pride, pride is thinking about you and yourself alone. maybe, you know, family, friends, something very small, small group, right? So if you use the thought of benefiting others instead of just benefiting yourself, it's a great way to stop pride. So, for example, you know, you help someone and you feel proud of yourself, but in a way that's like, I am special, you know, I kind of like, look how I'm a good person, you know? And then you say, no, 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 think about this person. Actually, what can I do to benefit them? Oh, they need me to kind of like clean their house. Mm, need them to clean their bodies, you know? Or they need me to go shopping for them, or they need me to do something that we think it is a low thing to do, right? You recognize, understand what I'm saying? If you start thinking about how I can benefit the other person, pride doesn't have space in the mind. Because pride is a selfish mindset about me, 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 me. Yeah. Then one that I love that for me was a bit difficult to think about was practicing generosity helps to decrease pride. Understand? You understand why? How? Because practicing generosity means what is the opposite of generosity? Our friend Jamie yesterday, scarcity, or greed, or how do you say the other word? Stinginess, stingy, miserliness, right? He's literally saying, I deserve this better than you. That's why I'm not giving to you. That's why I'm not sharing with you. That's what miserliness is, no? I have it, and between you and me, I am more important, so I deserve more than you. Right? Does it make sense?
And if I don't have, if you have it, then I don't have it.
Then I don't have it,
Zero
and
sum game.
I am more worthy than you to have it. It's exactly that. I'm more worthy than you to have it, right? So that is why practicing generosity, it breaks that mind, right? And practicing generosity here, please don't understand that then you give everything away. You know, we are not there yet. You know, not like Rinpoche. Once they were going in India and they were taking a train, and then one of his assistants said, "Oh, Rinpoche just stays here, you know, and I'm gonna go and take the ticket." And then you know, in India there was many beggars and it was cold and all of that. And then he came and Rinpoche was just wearing these, like we have like you know like a singlet. We say yes.
Yeah.
Just a singlet. He gave all of his clothes away to the people who were cold. And Rinpoche was going to meet all of these important people, and the person was like, Rinpoche, and he was like, they were cold, you know? This Rinpoche doesn't think about it. Or one thing that I love story about Rinpoche was they went into this place in the middle of nowhere, like Venerable Roger, which is Rinpoche's assistant, and Rinpoche go into the middle of nowhere, and it was in Nepal, and it was like a monsoon, so lots of mosquito, you know, and they only had one room, and then Venerable Raja needed to stay in the same room as Rinpoche. And Damson Rinpoche didn't sleep, he never laid down, right? He just goes into he went to meditation, and he was just staying meditation for the entire night, doing practices, or maybe like answering letters, or doing things, prayers for others, right? During 40, 60 years, he did that, he never laid down. So he was there, and then Roger was feeling so bad that he kind of like, oh, I need to sleep, Rinpoche, you know, like I need to lay down. And then he was like, then he turned, you know, for like, it was not to look at Rinpoche, and then he lied down, you know, and Rinpoche was there, and all of this. And then suddenly he wakes up in the middle of the night, he turns, and then he sees Rinpoche full of mosquitoes, like full of mosquitoes. And he was like, ah, Rinpoche. And then Rinpoche just said, I'm offering my blood to them. No pride at all in there. That is a extremes that we can kind of like, well, I'm not saying please don't do that, okay? Don't even try to do that. You're gonna get a like don't know malaria, Zika, or whatever it is, you know. But that is the mind, like the vastness of the mind that we can develop if we don't have pride. So we generous offer to others. So especially when we can see that our pride is there. For example, you're like driving, you know, and you want to kind of like go and get the best place. You see yourself doing that. You stop and you ask them, right? Great. Immediately cuts the pride, cuts your own pride. You get happy. You get happy that you helped someone. Everybody wins. Win, win. Everybody wins, right? Everybody wins. Or you're in the supermarket and you're kind of like looking for the best, like the best line because you want to go faster and do this, and you just run in front of someone, and then you just go, and then there's someone with two items in front behind you, like waiting for you, and then you're like, pick up, right? You just use every possible moment to take out that pride, because that pride is exactly what is destroying our planet and our life right now. It's making us think that we are independent, right? That we need to compete, that we need to always succeed, that we need to always be the best, more, more, more. No way. It's not what life is about. So, and it is important that we kind of like understand that also, that low self-esteem is a miserliness or a stinginess towards myself. So, that idea that we were talking, that, oh, miserliness can be like, oh, me, I'm more worth than you, so I'm having it and I'm not dividing it with you. But it can be the opposite. The low self-esteem is to say, oh, I am worse than you. You are more worthy than me. That is also not good, right? Because then what it starts to do is that we start to use and to lose our value of human beings, of doing good, of being better and good human beings. We have that. We are that, actually. We have that potential within ourselves right here and right now to do good, to choose between the mind of pride or the mind of generosity, to choose between the mind of pride or the mind of kindness, to choose the mind of pride to the mind of, humility. The choice. So low self-esteem, thinking and exaggerating our negative qualities, thinking that we are, not worthy, also not a good mind. So what do? We think that we need to extrapolate. We need to kind of like exaggerate that so we can feel worthy. So we go to pride. Very funny to see that. For me, it was an incredible experience to realize that the reason why I was so proud was not because I was like, successful in business, because I did university, because I did that. It was because I was actually trying to deal with my low self-esteem with going outside, right? With performing externally to make sure that people don't see it. That means I don't see it, my low self-esteem. Instead of realizing and taking and say, wait a minute, I actually, I do many bad things. Yes, I do a lot of kind of like things that are difficult and are not so nice sometimes. I lose my temper. I'm impatient. I say bad things. I kind of like, but that doesn't make me a bad person. And especially when you start to understand the negative emotions, and because the more we are habituated with them, the more we create, the habit to continue doing them. So, for example, pride, the more we allow pride to be in our minds, the more we create the habit to be proud. Make sense? Right? We just create that habit to more and more and more again and again and again, and to react in that way. Right? So it becomes our kind of like automatic response to things, because I habituated my mind with this. So then if I start to understand that, oh, I have the tendency to be like this. I have the habit to be like that. I have the habit to be impatient in this situation. I have the tendency or the habit to be, kind of like angry if someone says this to me. I have the habit, but that doesn't mean I cannot change. So low self-esteem comes from not understanding that you can change, that you have the potential, to really develop yourself, to open your heart, to really think, and as we say, feel love and compassion towards others, wanting others to be happy, wanting others to not suffer, and doing something about it. You do that. We do that for our families, with our friends. We help them. But we can do that to everybody. We can expand our life, our compassion towards all beings, right? So that kind of like sense of self-love, self-worthy, self-compassion, they are very important for us to have a good sense of pride. The good sense of pride is understanding your value, understanding the things that you can add, the things that you can change, the things that you can develop, the things that you can, improve and help others. That's what we can do. Does it make sense? Anything that I'm saying? Any questions? You guys are very quiet today.
I think going back to like recognizing good qualities, one thing that pops in my mind is like the difference is recognizing a good quality and then the other is telling stories to yourself about your worth or about others' worth.
Can you give an example?
So one thing is to recognize that, going back to the runner example, right?
Yes.
Recognizing that you're a runner and that this is an activity that you engage in and you're engaged in that self-improvement.
Mhm.
And then it's another thing to see somebody who is earlier in the journey and their form is wrong or they're think that they're slow or stuff like that. And you tell yourself stories about, yeah, like I guess the comparison.
Yes.
Comparing with others.
Comparison is actually, is the one that really comes from not understanding equanimity. And what it means, equanimity in Buddhism, means that we are all the same. No, it's not that idea of we are all the same in the way of like we are not all the same height, we are not all the same like weight, we are not all the same kind of like a social status. On a conventional level, we are not the same, but we are equal on a more subtle way, which is we all want to be happy and we don't want to suffer. That is the basics of humanity. Not only humanity, beings, animals, same. Animals also want to be happy and not suffer. Exactly the same as us. So equanimity means that we all have that wish to be happy and not suffer. If we come back to that mindset, it's transforming completely our life. Because from there comes real compassion and real love. Because then real compassion and real love comes from, I want to make these people, happy. That is love. That is the definition of love. The definition of compassion is, I don't want others to suffer, right? So if I understand that this is what we want, I'm going to do things to help them to achieve that. So that is exactly. The comparison is not is bad because the way we compare ourselves. But if we compare ourselves in that way of say, oh wow, we all want to be happy and not suffer, right? We actually bring the comparison in the equanimity type of mindset. Great, 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 great. Any other? Yes.
What about being proud of somebody? That's it.
Yes, so that is a good type of pride if we are seeing, as long as we're not putting other people down. For example, proud moms, that say, my son is the best of everybody, right? So, but you can be proud, which is we don't use necessarily the word pride, but we use more the word kind of like, because in English we use proud of someone, but we rejoicing. That is more the word. That's what is happening more. It's like, for example, someone got married, someone that you like, that is like really, I said that the other day, my brother sent this Instagram account that is only like good things that happen in the world, right? And I was just like singing and crying like a baby, very good, very good. But that thing like, oh, someone got married. They really wanted, they kind of like lived in countries and then they were able to come together and they were you rejoice in their happiness, right? Or someone that wanted to have kids and they really kind of like, tried and they are nice people that they kind of like got it, or someone that wanted to study and wanted to go get this job and they worked so hard, to go to med school or whatever. Rejoice. It's more rejoice, right? We use the word pride, Yes, we do. We say, "Oh, I'm very proud of this person," right? But it's more a rejoicing type. As long the what we need to kind of like check if it is or not, as long as we're not putting others down, right? That is the poisonous aspect of it. And even if the others might be kind of like putting also ourselves down, right? That is also not good pride. Okay? Anything? So then I'm going to ask you to go into groups, discussion groups. Okay? Maybe 4 people? Yes, 4 people, 4 or 5 or what? And you guys going to talk about what type of pride do you think you have?
Oh, wow.
What type of pride? Because then, if we talk about it, first, not only helps us, but second, it's an amazing antidote for it. Because pride is a little bit of hiding as well. We don't want people to see our flaws or how we act. No, I'm just like this. No, I'm not. I am good like this all the time. Okay. So you talk about pride and then you think, what do you think you can use or help yourself as antidote, right? Because we gave so many tips today. I hope you like wrote down everything. So just think about some antidotes that could help you to decrease your pride. Okay? So come together. You guys have 25 minutes, almost 20 minutes for that.
20 minutes.
People that came together, don't stay together, please. People that came together, not together. No together. And online people as well.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
I can start. I'm going to say I think I have both types of pride. I put myself down and I judge people a lot. Kind of just subconsciously or consciously a lot of the times. I think it's one of the ways that I have a lot of issues because it affects how you view a lot of situations that you're in. To constantly not understand others' perspectives and feel like they're wrong or you're better or something like that.
Yeah, I can relate to that. And I also think that, like you said, how you say it's like you have both pride, like the, good way, bad, like, I mean, they're both bad, I guess. But I feel like also when you have this sort of like self-deprecation where you're like, I'm the worst, I'm this, and that's pride too. Like if you're constantly tearing yourself down and you're being hard on yourself, that also affects like the, like your perception of others and how you think others perceive you. So it is like Oops, I was just trying to talk. I'm not sure if any of it did. Was my microphone on?
Oh, I heard that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you or can be judgmental, and then you meet somebody has a lot of talent and qualities, and you find it difficult to judge them, and then you start putting yourself down instead of seeing, oh, okay, maybe I can learn from this person, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to look at it too. Because a lot of times people will see somebody who's like really talented and instead have the opposite reaction, and they'll be like, you know, like jealous, probably like because of pride, I guess. And so instead of thinking like being inspired by somebody, they'll be sort of they'll like let their pride and their ego get in the way. So that's definitely a good way of seeing it.
Mm. Mm.
Guys, my English is not very good, so I'm kind of shy to talk.
What antidotes can we use? Hmm. Well, I guess that was one of them, looking at positive qualities in others and seeing if we could work towards that in ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. Like seeing the positive in others and being inspired by that instead of letting our ego, you know, again, judge and be, harsh about them. Usually, you only judge people because of pride.
Hmm.
I guess also like he said, doing service for others as one way of helping. So
Yeah, that's true. Especially when you look at what, or try to look at what they actually need instead of what you want to provide, which can be just convenient sometimes. Because I'm more generous when it's easy to give something than when it's not easy to give something.
that's so real. Yeah.
And then I can feel better about myself. Oh, I gave that so easily. I got a lot of issues.
No, that's real too, because you can do service to others, but you have to be careful not to like make yourself a martyr, of it, because your ego could easily be inflated then too. It's like, yeah, you're doing service, but are you doing it with like the intention of helping others? Or are you doing it with the intention of like, stroking your ego, your pride?
Esther, did you say you wanted to go to Vajra Yogini in France for like a class at one point? Was that you?
To where?
To the institute in France, the Vajra Yogini?
I said that I want to go back to Dharamsala in India and
Hmm.
Kopan, Nepal.
Okay.
Yeah, not that one in France. No, I think
Hmm.
because there they speak more in French, right?
Oh,
I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Well, are you going in October? They're going to India and Kopan, I think.
No, I'm not going. I went last year to
Amazing.
see Dalai Lama in person in Dharamsala for a teaching.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I want to go next year again.
Okay.
I'll probably go
Hmm.
next year, and I want to stay some months there and take courses in Tushita, in Kopan, and other monasteries around in Dharamsala.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
some
amazing.
retreat. Hopefully, we work out.
I want to go to India. I went a while ago. It was like the best place I ever went.
Oh,
Hmm.
you went to Laudo?
No, just like in
You-
India, but I want to go to do all of the stuff that you're saying. Like I would love to go like have a more deeply spiritual trip.
Oh,
That
okay.
wasn't my intention the first time I went to India. It ended up like being very just it's so different that it ended up being like a deeper trip than you think anyway, just seeing how like joyful people are that have so much less than us. It's a lesson on just like how to be grateful. That alone, like for even if you don't go to any monastery, any teaching, just seeing like how joyful like children are that have nothing, that's
Definitely. It's
something.
amazing, right? How
Yeah.
can they can still smile at you and have good being how do you say that good spirits, like good mood, right? With
Mm-hmm.
all that poverty, and yeah, it's amazing.
It is. It's because like it does show you like a lot from what we learned here